I just point to the logo on my chest and tell them, Slammy, Ego, Slammy, Ego, Slammy, Ego, Slammy, hey. Hit it up hard, hit it with strike. From the national anthem to the bottom of the night. I'm in Slammy, Ego, Slammy, Ego, Slammy, Ego, Slammy, hey. You already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. We should know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy up. Hey.
What is going on, everybody? The Padres season is still alive. They beat the Cubs in Game 2 of the Wild Card Series this afternoon, 3-0. Blanked them. Dylan Cease on the mound. Going into it, I was pissed after last night. And going into today, you got Cease, and I'm sorry, wasn't optimistic, wasn't feeling great. And maybe that's the key. Maybe I should just crap on Darvish and I should expect him to do nothing and not feel good going into tomorrow so they can win tomorrow's game. Because last night I was ranting a little bit and then they end up winning today. So everything's good. Obviously a much happier show today for sure. And it's crazy what 24 hours can do. How, I go from thinking like, oh man, they may not even make it to Milwaukee to, why wouldn't they beat the Cubs tomorrow? Like, I think they have the advantage. You got Darvish on the mound against Jameson Taillon. I'm giving the bullpen advantage, obviously, to the Padres. No, you could make the case like the Cubs relievers might be a little bit more fresh, like the big ones. But, with the talent that Mason Miller today, holy cow. The guy is striking out like everyone that he's facing. He threw 104, and he's dotting some pitches. And then you go from 104 to like an 85-mile-per-hour slider. Like, good luck hitting that. Obviously, the other guys in this bullpen, like Robert Suarez, like Adrian Morejon, who can pitch in the fourth inning if you need him to. And by the way, they still have Michael King available. They still have Randy Vasquez available. So I'm going to be curious to see, does Michael King get into this game? I thought for sure Michael King was going to get in today's game, but that's because I thought Dylan Cease wasn't going to last as long as he did. But he did his job, and, give credit to him. Like, I was hoping that I was going to be wrong because that meant that Dylan Cease pitched well and he did his job, and that's exactly what happened. So, yep, I was wrong. He worked into the fourth inning, didn't give up any runs. He struck out 5 guys. The guy was throwing a hundo. Like, man, that was impressive. I feel like maybe that's the ceiling for Dylan Cease. Maybe they, let's go to the NLDS, hopefully NLCS. They would give Cease a little bit longer of a leash because you can't do this every game in the postseason because it doesn't seem like that's sustainable. But in terms of like what the sweet spot is in a must-win game, I feel like this is a pretty decent sweet spot there. I thought it should have been one time through the order. You go to Michael King, one time through the order. Hopefully that gets you around, through 5 innings, 6, around there. And then you can go to the bullpen and get the job done. But they went Cease. And this was what you wanted. Adrian Morejon, one of the MVPs of this game. I know we could talk about the offense, but Cease doing his job. Adrian Morejon going 2 1/3, picking up 7 outs in this game, not giving up any hits, not giving up any base runners. He comes in relief of Cease and gets the grounder to first. So that move worked, which I saw some people questioning that in the moment, and I didn't understand why they were questioning that. I was questioning why did they send Dylan Cease out there for the 4th inning, because again, like going into this, I'm like, yep, do your job, get through 3 innings. If it's no runs, great, move on to somebody else. Because I just don't trust Dylan Cease in big games. Has he earned a little bit more trust here after this outing? A little bit, but I'm still not going to sit here and be super confident with him. Maybe I should going into next series if they get there against Milwaukee. If they face the Dodgers, though, down the line, I don't care what he does in this postseason. I'm not going to be confident because of what has happened against the Dodgers previously. But that's for well in advance, obviously. The Dodgers, they're going to beat the Reds tonight is what it seems like. And so if that happens, the Padres won't be playing at noon. They'll be playing at 2 because there's going to be 3 game 3s tomorrow. Detroit and Cleveland would be the first one, then the Padres, and then I think Yankees Red Sox would be the prime time 5 o'clock game, our time. So that's going to make for a really fun day of baseball tomorrow. But yeah, can't say enough about the work that Dylan Cease and Adrian Morejon did. Mason Miller striking out everyone. 5 punch-outs today in his inning and 2/3. By the way, I loved that the Padres posted Don and Mud doing their all down by way of the K on social media. That was awesome. And by the way, you had Trevor Hoffman in the background laughing his butt off because he realized what Don was doing there. So love those guys. That was awesome. But yeah, talk about like the dream scenario. What happened today? I'm not talking about offensively because they still went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. But the dream scenario pitching wise, it lined up. You didn't have to go to anybody else except the 3 relievers you trust the most. And it's cut clear the 3 relievers that you want to go to. You don't want to go to anybody else. With all due respect to Jeremiah Estrada, you still would rather just go to Morejon, Miller, and Suarez. And that's what happened. If you would have told me Dylan Cease isn't going to get through 4 innings and they're going to only use their top 3 relievers, how are they going to get, are they going to be able to win this game? Are they going to get through this game? I would have questions there. But because Morejon was efficient and he picked up 7 outs, Mason Miller was efficient, picked up 5 outs, Robert Suarez, I knew this was going to happen, right? Because you want to use the least amount of relievers. You want to go with your big boys that you trust. Miller, Suarez at the back. 1 inning is not going to be enough. They're going to send those guys out there for at least 4 outs. And you got 4 outs from Suarez. What a catch by Nando in the right field corner. I know it's not like that was the game-saving catch because it wasn't a 1-run game in that situation or anything. But running into the corner there, lunging for that ball, full extension, that's the gold glove, platinum glove stuff from Nando. So that was great to see. And obviously the inning would have continued, a run would have scored, and that would have made it 3-1 in that situation. So great job from him. Xander, that double play to end the game, where it wasn't the prettiest double play, but Xander on his knees found a way to get the job done, get the throw over there to Crony. Crony gets it over to first for the double play, barely gets him, but yeah, what an ending there. And then offensively, obviously, Jackson Merrill doing what he does. He's had a pretty good first couple of games here. Yesterday with that double that he had before the bogey double, today with the sac fly, Manny with the 2-run homer, obviously. And the big conversation was why did the Cubs not walk Manny Machado there? And obviously, in hindsight, because I wasn't thinking about this in the moment, but in hindsight, it's yeah, that was a stupid decision. You've got 2 outs. You've got a base with written Manny's name's written all over that base because you got Jackson Merrill coming up next, and you'd get the left-on-left matchup with Imanaga. Why did the Cubs not start Imanaga? They didn't want to face Manny. They didn't want Imanaga to face Manny that first time around. So you have the opportunity to keep Imanaga in the game and not have to have him face Manny, and you still have him face Manny. And first pitch homer. And Manny crushed that ball. That ball almost left the ballpark. What is it called? Waveland Avenue or something? Beyond that left field, the left field bleachers there. But yeah, that ball was crushed. And people obviously criticized Manny and his postseason performance, and they didn't like the urgency comment that he made before they went to Chicago. And he's like, see, this is why I don't like reporters. But I actually appreciate Manny and him being honest, because you don't get that from a lot of players nowadays, right? They're media trained. They give these boring, regular answers. They're not trying to say anything, get themselves in trouble, obviously. But Manny he's not afraid to say, he's just going to say what he wants. And sometimes it's going to rub people the wrong way, or it's going to hurt people's feelings. But I'd rather have people be themselves than people not be themselves, right? But yeah, huge for Manny, obviously. And he's the captain, and he's going to have to go if this Padres team wants to get where they want to go. So there was encouraging signs. Dylan Cease is going to have to deliver continuously. The bullpen's going to have to deliver. Manny's going to have to deliver. Jackson, these guys, they're going to have to come through. Nando. So some good signs, and obviously what matters the most is the season is continuing. And now we've got a game 3 tomorrow with Yu Darvish on the mound, Jameson Taillon on the mound on the other side, and I don't see how you can say the Cubs have the advantage. Cubs fans will probably say they have the advantage because they know more about the Cubs than I do. But Darvish, he's familiar with Wrigley, obviously a former Cub. The last big moment that he pitched in the postseason last year, it was not his fault why the Padres lost that game. Totally not his fault. He pitched really well, and he totally can do that again tomorrow. And even if it doesn't, who has the advantage? Like, if Taillon doesn't pitch well, who do they go to? If Darvish doesn't pitch well, you got Michael King you can go to. You can throw Randy for an inning. And then obviously the dominant bullpen that you've got there. So, yeah. I mean, maybe we'll see a situation where you have Michael King closing the game. I don't know. Or pitching in the 8th inning or something. A little crazy or a little unexpected like that. Because maybe there's a lane where you're like, Mason Miller, you're pitching in the 6th inning. You're pitching the end of the 5th and the 6th inning. And then you go to Michael King. Will Jeremiah Estrada pitch tomorrow? It is going to be interesting going into it because, as you'll see on the bullpen chart that I'm tweeting out tomorrow in the morning, Mason Miller and Adrian Morejon, this will be their 3rd consecutive day working. And we know they're going to pitch tomorrow, regardless of the score, because the season is on the line. They're going to pitch tomorrow. And so it's a heavy workload. Mason Miller threw 27 pitches today. Last couple days, he's combined to throw 40 pitches. Adrian Morejon is combined to throw, 42 pitches. 30, only 9 yesterday, 13 for Mason yesterday, 27 for Mason today, 33 pitches for Morejon today. But to get through, 2 1/3 there? Yeah, 7 outs, to cover 7 outs with 33 pitches out of the bullpen like that, that's not bad. So Jeremiah Estrada, day off. Wandy, day off. Obviously, the other guys, everyone else in the bullpen, I'm not including King in that, but I know he's in the bullpen. These are guys that you're just not going to want to touch the ball, obviously. But yeah, this is going to be it should be a really fun watch, or a very tight watch. Us going to be tight, wondering what's going to happen, and nervousness. And what I've liked is these noon starts. You kind of get it over. Like, you get your work done in the morning, and then you've got it's baseball right at noon. Now those extra couple of hours, I know that there's a game 3 in front with the Tigers and the Guardians. The Guardians were able to get a win today to send that to that winner take all game 3 there tomorrow. But still, like, it's just a couple more hours to sit there and just wonder what's going to happen, and you just want it to come. So, yeah, I don't know what to expect tomorrow. I really wonder what the strategy is going to be after Darvish, because it would be great for him to cover 6 innings, obviously. But what's the realistic expectation? And then, do they want to use Michael King? Like, is it dependent? It probably is dependent on the situation, obviously, because you could have Michael King start game 1 of the division series if you're able to, let's say, get out to an early lead tomorrow, and then maybe you throw Randy instead of King. Or maybe you're able to throw Bradley Rodriguez out there, or you're throwing Wandy out there as a lefty because there's only 2 lefties in this bullpen. Just to cover an inning there. Jeremiah Estrada, like, if you have a 4-run lead, then yeah, I'm good throwing Jeremiah Estrada. Like, I still trust Jeremiah Estrada, just not as much as the other relievers. And when your season's on the line tomorrow, I don't want any other reliever touching the ball other than Michael King. Yeah, I do. But Morejon, Miller, Suarez, ideally, you want the same thing to happen today. You want Darvish to cover innings and a little more than what Cease gave you, or what the Padres allowed Cease to do. I should probably word it that way. But yeah, you want the same bullpen, those 3 guys, and guess what? There's days off after this, right? I think the game 1 would be Saturday of the division series. So you would have a day off there in between to get rested back up. Shadows, how much is that going to play a factor? Because the start time going to be pushed back a couple of hours with the Dodgers probably beating the Reds tonight, if that's not already over. I saw the Reds had an early lead, but then the Dodgers, they were pulling away there. Yeah, last thing I saw was Dodgers were rolling. Yamamoto pitched really well. But yeah, those are the thoughts that I have today. Lineup wise, it was the same thing, and it was like, hope's the strategy today. Hopefully, Manny Machado will come up big, and he did. So great. I don't expect many changes, if any changes, tomorrow. What was interesting was Gavin Sheets got pulled. Has anyone saw anything on that? Gavin Sheets getting pulled from this game? Because Bryce Johnson came in. I'm like, oh, Bryce Johnson's in the game. So I just don't know why that happened. Hopefully, like, Gavin didn't get hurt. I'm trying to see in like any notes. Is there anything on Gavin Sheets? Because I feel like I would have saw a tweet about this if Gavin Sheets was actually hurt. Because I'm not seeing anything on Gavin Sheets. Yeah, no reasoning. I do see that in the UT, Jeff Sanders did have something on Michael King being ready. So I'm going to pull that up just to see if there's anything interesting that Michael King said today. Jeff Sanders writes, Yu Darvish may not have to go all that deep on Thursday or perhaps any longer than one time through the order, depending on how the game develops. I mean, I hope he goes longer than one time. Like, at best, that's only covering 3 innings. King said he was not close to warming up on Wednesday and figures to be locked and loaded, just like he was all those years in the Yankees bullpen. Just like it used to be, King said, yeah, I'm ready to go. It would be King's first relief appearance since piggybacking Joe Musgrove in Game 2 in South Korea last year when he allowed 3 runs on 4 hits and 3 walks in 3 1/3 innings. He made 96 appearances out of the bullpen with the Yankees. And then King's just talking about how he's got to go to his A stuff immediately out of the bullpen. It's the playoffs, so that's how you got to do it pretty much anyway. So, yeah. That's what I got. Shout out to the great partners of the show. I will get to the chat, obviously. I see over 150 comments in there. So thank you, everyone, for the time. Much appreciated. But Gagnon Bros, famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries. Their main location is on Friars Road. That's a great lunch spot tomorrow before the Padres game. So check them out there. Link in the description. They're at Petco Park. They're inside Snapdragon Stadium. And it's a good price as well. And it's delicious. So definitely check them out. Garlic fries, cheesesteak fries, cheesesteaks. Really, really good stuff. Breaking Tea, they've got Padres and Aztecs shirts and sweatshirts, so you can check them out as well with the link in the description. They've got player tees. They've got Darvish shirts. Darvish starting tomorrow. Hopefully, there's going to be a big moment tomorrow that Breaking Tea can make a shirt out of. Maybe it's a big homer from someone. Maybe it's an amazing play that saves the game. We shall see. SeatGeek code Talking Friars, $20 off your first order when you sign up with your email. It's not just Padres games, it's other sporting events, it's concerts. So don't just think it's just Padres. I'm trying to help you out with other events as well. So use it to your advantage, please. Save some money there. All right, let's get to the comments. I see a couple super chats right off the bat. Albert, thank you. Says Friar Faithful. SDSU Man 1. I wish Donna Mudd can call the game on the radio during the playoffs. Yeah, but they wouldn't do that to Jesse and Tony because Jesse and Tony, like they're there all year long as well, and this is their time to shine. So they wouldn't do that. But like for an inning or two, yeah, that would be cool. That would be awesome. I don't even think Don's doing TBS broadcasts this year. Maybe he is, but I feel like he would have said it by now, and I haven't heard anything. So, although I think TBS does have the National League side this year, Don would not be calling the Padres. Obviously, he would be calling the Dodgers and the Phillies series probably. But they also might have their A team of Brian Anderson on that because Brian Anderson, if it's Padres Brewers, TBS is in a weird spot because they've got Brian Anderson who does Brewers, they've got Don Orsillo if he's the number two. Maybe I'm forgetting someone. He does Padres, so neither is going to do the Padres Brewers series. It would be Padres or Dodgers Phillies. So that's where the problem might come in there because Bob Costas retired last year, which many people are happy about. So who is that other guy that they would bring in to do the other series? I don't know yet. All right, let's see here in the chat. Bryant says nobody beating the Dodgers. They score runs so easy. Padres are lucky they did not face the Dodgers, or else they would get more humiliated than the Reds. I totally disagree with that. The Reds also have been beating themselves. Jovan says C stood on business today. Got to give it up to him. Yeah, I'm glad to be wrong. Again, I'm glad to be wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm just giving you guys my real thoughts before a game, and I was not confident in Dylan Cease. I just watched his season and watched the big regular season games that he's pitched in, and he's been bad in the playoffs. You looked at his ERA, I think, was over 12 going into today in the postseason. So it just wasn't good. But yeah, credit to him today. If they would have had him go 5 or 6, would it have been like this? Who knows how good or how bad it would have been. But facts are facts, and yeah, he showed up. So good for him. And I'm happy for him. Like it's a Padre. I'm rooting for all these guys. I'm just telling you the way that I see it going into games. Someone says here, what a bipolar fan base. One day sad and angry and now happy and joyful. That's what being a fan is. What are you talking about? Am I supposed to be happy and joyful after the Padres didn't do much on offense yesterday and they lost the game that Nick Pivetta was starting? I'm supposed to be happy about that? Like, come on. This is what we're fans. Like, we're going to react emotionally. It's a short series. It's like we've been waiting all year. We wait every year for October, and it's now here. So, all right, you can be happy and joyful when your team stinks it up. That's not how I'm going to be. I agree, Albert. I do like our chances of advancing as well. I think they have the advantage tomorrow. Jake Cronenworth needs to get some hits tomorrow, Albert says. Yeah, that would be nice. They went again with 3 consecutive lefties, although Sheets got 1 at bat. Then they went to Iglesias for 1 at bat. Bryce Johnson went to left field. He got a couple at bats. Crony's hitting 8th in this order. He went 0 for 4. Didn't do anything yesterday. But you got to also think, and he's not going to use this as an excuse, but with that lefty lane, like he's going to see lefties every time. I don't even, I forget if he saw a righty today, but if he did, that was one time. Like the guy's seeing lefties pretty much every time up. While there are other guys that at least get to see that other side, but where Jake is at, he's not going to see the other side. So that makes it tough. Dodgers basically got to buy this round. Yeah, that's what it feels like. But hey, that's what happens when you end up being one of the better teams in the National League. You're going to get the easier opponent, and you're going to get the home wildcard series. So, we could say, oh, I wish we got that easy of a series. But also, though, like Dodgers, they're going to have to face the Phillies next round, while the Padres or the Cubs get to face the Brewers. And some would say, you should change that to have to face the Brewers, not get to, because the Brewers' best record in the National League, one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball on paper, like based on the regular season. So that's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it is going to be easy, but I'm just not. I got to see it with the Brewers before I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to be the opponent that you don't want to face. The Phillies, like I've seen them do it, so it's a little bit different. Dane says Cease pitched good today. Would love to see him finish that inning. Yeah, but it was a lefty up at the plate, I believe, when Morahone came in and he got the grounder to first. Like it worked out. Again, I was of the viewpoint. I was like, why are you putting him out there for the fourth inning anyway? Go to King or go to someone else. Like don't give Cease the opportunity here to f this up, right? But got some base runners, but brought Morahone in and got the job done. Why are the Reds in the playoffs? Because they were playing, I think they were playing fine baseball, but the Mets collapsed. That's why. Let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing comments about the offense and how they need to score more. But like what I wanted was let's see what the Cubs did. Remember in game one, let's see what the Cubs did. Can the Padres do that? And Manny did that today with the long ball. I loved how fired up he was when he hit that. I love seeing that emotion. All right, let me get an update on this Dodgers Reds game. Again, the last time I looked, the Dodgers are up by like 5 runs. So a little after 2 o'clock is when the Padres would be playing tomorrow, if the result holds. Oh, top of the eighth, Reds have the bases loaded. 8-4 game. But yeah, I think 2:08 on ABC would be tomorrow. Darvish against Tyone. Dodgers are already out of mound visits in this game. Dodgers bullpen mess. What Bob Nightingale's calling it. All right, we'll see what happens there. I think the Dodgers are still going to pull that out, but we shall see. It would be funny if they didn't. Make them play a game 3 tomorrow. Oh boy. What's the matchup or stats against Tyone? Good question. Let's see if it's up yet. Because the postseason, I don't think they're going to show the career numbers. Yeah, they didn't show them. So I don't see them right here on MLB.com. But, Tyone definitely has talent. He's definitely a name. It's not like this is someone that we'd never heard of that the Cubs are giving the ball to. But we've got Darvish on our side, and that's someone that I want on the mound. John asked, will King pitch tomorrow? I'll be surprised if he doesn't. The way I wouldn't be surprised is if you're going to tell me that Darvish goes like 5 innings. If Darvish goes 5 innings, then they could go the bullpen the rest of the way. And then, fingers crossed they win, and then you can go King game 1. But again, you don't want to have regrets. Like you go a wild card series and your season's over and you don't have Michael King pitch. Ooh, I'd probably be regretting that in the offseason. Yeah, Padres did take 2 out of 3 against the Brewers recently in September. Yeah, I'm not scared of the Brewers. It's really this series. You just never know what's going to happen in a short series like this. And obviously, I was worried going into today because of what happened yesterday and Cease was on the mound and all that. But yeah, the short series, you just don't know. With the longer series, I feel like the bullpen can be a big advantage to the Padres. All right, I think that's going to do it. Talking Friars here. Padres beat the Cubs. They win game 2. Series tied at 1. No games are at Petco this series. All 3 at Wrigley. Game 3 tomorrow, likely a little bit after 2 o'clock on ABC, I believe. If it's not on ABC, then flip over to ESPN and you'll find it there. But yeah, as of now, 3 game 3s tomorrow. Detroit and Cleveland, San Diego and Chicago, and New York and Boston. Should be a fun day of baseball. And I'll be going live after the game tomorrow. And hopefully, we're talking about the Padres season continuing and not a very disappointing end to their season. But thank you, everyone, for the time and have a great night.